What is going on, everybody? Tyler here with this week's ThoughtLoad. Coming at you from the road today, driving a rental car back from Cincinnati. Had to do some maintenance to my research plots this morning, and I tell you that I'm in a rental vehicle because some of the stuff I like to do on these, it's like an hour and a half to get down there. Something I like to do on these trips is either listen to some cool podcasts or audiobooks, try to learn something new, get a new perspective on something, but also I like to just turn everything off, no music, no sound, and hopefully the car is nice enough to where it's not super loud while I'm driving, and just think, just kind of talk to myself, think about stuff. And one of the interesting features that this car has is I was just thinking about some things about golf and progress I've made and things I need to do and work on, and I was so deep in thought that I'd started to approach the boundary line on the road without really realizing it, and noticed that the car took over and put me back in the center of the lane. And my car doesn't do that, but so it really freaked me out for a second. And it hit me, I was like, you know what? It would be really stinking cool if every time we made a decision or we started doing something that was going to negatively impact us, whether it's our weight, our mental sharpness, our just overall well-being and quality of life, that there was something that would auto-correct us in real time, be like, boom, nope, you got to go back this way, or don't make that turn, go this way. Something instantaneous, that we could never do something that would negatively impact us. And while we don't technically have that, we do have systems that can be a little bit more elusive, that require a little bit more focus in order to understand and get the proper information. But we do have those feedback systems, right? We have our body, we have our physiology, we have our mental sharpness or acuity. We have a lot of feedback systems. While maybe not always instantaneous, we do get information if we're paying attention to it, right? For example, if we eat $25 worth of Taco Bell, you're probably going to feel like ass afterwards. So instead of saying, oh man, I just feel bad because I ate a lot or I ate some crap, the information you get is, I probably shouldn't do this anymore because this feeling is terrible. Or you're only sleeping 4 hours a night, or you're getting crap sleep because it's not a priority for you and you're just feeling dead and lethargic and have no energy. That's a feedback system. That means, hey, maybe you should get some more sleep. And while obviously that's pretty obvious, but we go through, and I personally go through this all the time, where I have negative behaviors that either make me feel off, feel slow, feel lethargic, bloated, inflamed, weight gain, you name it. But yet I don't listen to what my body and what my brain is telling me and auto-correcting like this rental car is doing whenever I drift towards the boundary line. And so one of the things that I wanted to go into, or a couple things I wanted to bring to your all's attention, is how do we listen to those systems, and how do we properly test different habits or behaviors in order to accomplish what we want, increase our quality of life, and get rid of what is probably now normal feeling of just being slow, not sharp, and just underwhelming quality of life. And so a lot of things over the last, starting with in the 60s, last 50, 60, 70, 100 years or whatever, obviously our chronic disease in this country has skyrocketed, right? Cancer, heart disease, all of these things that didn't exist for humans hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands years ago. And also, by the way, cancer does not exist in nature. All of these things, all of these diseases, all of these issues that our society has developed that are now commonplace is a direct result of our lifestyle. Our lifestyle has gotten so much more convenient. It's gotten more sedentary. It's gotten more indoors. We're being disconnected with nature, with the earth. We are eating a load of garbage, processed junk, seed oils. All of these things accumulate, and the end result is these chronic diseases. And so when we're not listening to our body's navigation system, we're not listening to these feedback systems, we're getting closer and closer to experiencing these problems and not getting to where it is where we should and deserve to be. And so one of the things that I just came in touch with, started looking into a little bit, pretty new at this rabbit hole, is a principle called grounding. And so we have, like I said, we've gotten a lot more disconnected with nature. And there's a handful of papers out there, I encourage you to do some of your own research here, that show that a lot of these timing up with these spike in these chronic diseases in this country also correlates, again, be careful with the word correlation, but it correlates with when the rubber-soled shoe was invented. And so we used to roam the planet, roam the earth in bare feet, being in contact with the ground, with the earth's surface. And now most of us never set our feet in the grass anymore. We never touch bare soil with our feet. We're always wearing some type of shoe or something that inhibits that earthly connection. And so the most basic way I can explain grounding is our body, and I heard this, and I don't know, I haven't checked the validity to it, so keep that in mind. But our body is the most powerful electrical thing on the planet. All of the electricity firing through our body is the most powerful thing that is or exists on this planet. And the Earth's surface is negatively charged. And so when we step onto the Earth's surface, there is a flow of electrons from the Earth's surface in and throughout our body. And there's a growing body of evidence that shows that when we are grounded or touching the earth, just like your house electrical panel is grounded to the earth, that we have this steady state flow of electrons to where inflammation can be reduced, stress levels can be reduced. People have reported that their chronic pain in joints goes away after repeated grounding practice, and a lot of other benefits that I'm not going to get into. But again, this is just a ancestral thing, and it should make intuitive sense to us that when we come in contact with the Earth's surface with our bare feet, that there is a connection and something is going on, something is happening there. And now, this brings me to the second half, or second topic I wanted to touch on in this thought load. Grounding is a perfect example of something that you can go out and read and be like, this is the best thing ever, you should do this. You can go out and read, this is dumb, this is snake oil, it doesn't work, whatever, right? You can find both of those things on the statement. You do not know what it can or will not do for you if it is not tested. And that goes for any type of behavior or habit that we're looking to change. Right? Say if we want to feel healthier, we want to lose some weight, we're going to look at a cleaner way of eating or change our lifestyle around food. Lead a healthier lifestyle. Move more, eat higher quality foods, eat less garbage or no garbage. We're going to do that. Or if we want to get stronger, we want to look better, and we want to find a workout program, or we want to find something that we want to do, we look at these things. I do this all the time and have done this for years, is I'll start something for a few days. Something will pop up like, oh, there's a wedding or there's a get together or whatever, and I will skip the workout. I'll eat crap. I'll get off of a healthier lifestyle for a day, and then it turns into 2-3 days, and then you get back on to what you were trying to do for 3 days, and something else happens again, and the cycle repeats, and then at the end of a month, you're like, well, that didn't work for me, or that doesn't work. Now, the more research and the more I get into my research projects through Ohio State, the more of a mind for experimenting and research that I have begun to develop, the more I realize that we need to be our own best test subject. We need to do high quality, solid experiments with ourselves as a test subject to evaluate if something is beneficial for us or hurting us. So taking grounding, for example, if I want to see if I feel better or if I have a pain in my knee or ankle or shoulder starts to go away, and grounding can be something that can help me, I need to do it consistently. Something like 20-30 minutes. Just go stand, walk around outside, stand in your grass, even put a lawn chair out in your yard, take your shoes off, put your feet in the grass, and just sit for a while. Do that consistently for a month and see what happens. And log and journal and do everything that a scientist would do and evaluate if this is something that helps or doesn't help you, or is a neutral. You don't notice any change. But until you do that, you don't know if this works for you. It's the same as a diet or a healthier lifestyle around food. You don't know if, let's say, and by the way, I learned a little while ago that being lactose intolerant is actually the normal version of the gene, and being able to eat lactose is the mutated gene. So by naturally, our bodies do not like lactose, but we have developed a mutation in that gene to allow us to eat it. So starting with things that likely irritate people, dairy and gluten come to mind. If you're feeling a little off, if you're feeling bloated, inflamed, just not mentally sharp, it could be something that you're eating. So do an experiment. Eliminate something, one thing at a time, right? Eliminate dairy. Go for 2-3 weeks. See if you feel any better. Eliminate wheat or gluten. Go 2 or 3 weeks. See if you feel any better. You got to keep a journal, log these things, be your own best test subject, do what a scientist would do, and experiment with yourself. Because it's the only way you're truly going to find if there's ways that can help you feel more optimal. Because my guess, and myself included, I do not believe that on a daily basis I feel the best that I can feel. I have probably, and most of us have, developed a new baseline of just blah, which is what we feel is normal. But our bodies were meant to thrive. Our bodies were meant to feel good all the time. We were meant to be mentally sharp. If you weren't mentally sharp, you would die in the wild thousands of years ago, right? If you weren't paying attention, if you didn't have situational awareness, if you weren't healthy, nature would kill you. So we need to get back to that baseline of how we should feel on a daily basis. And by looking at things with an experimental lens, by using ourselves as our own best test subject, we can then start to eliminate the things that are harming us. And if you don't do a good experiment, if you, like the first example I gave, you do something for 3 days, quit for 3, get back on for 3, that's not valid data. So we got to lock down our experiments better and leave you with this thought. Would it be worth it to you to feel your best if you put in 90 days worth of focused experimenting to be able to eliminate things that you thought were fine or add things that you didn't know were good for you or beneficial or things that you should be doing? Would it be worth 90 days of your life here to then be able to live the rest of your life in the highest quality? And with that, we're going to end the Thought Load this week. We'll catch you next time on Thought Load. And as always, begin the duel, win the day.